intersection of good drinks, good music, and good times. This is Hops and Spirits Bar Conversations.
I can already tell we're going to have some fun, as I told him right before we went on.
Uh-oh.
We're completing the north of the border trifecta, J.J. Wild, Owen Rigling, and now we got another country artist. He's got 2 new singles out recently, Race to the Bottom and Drive, which you can listen to where you can find music. Let's welcome in Nate Holler.
You got it. You got it. Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it, man. Like I said before we hopped on, love the music and glad we could connect. And it's kind of funny that Nashville I know gets a lot of love, but Canadians are making some good country music too.
We're just trying our hardest. That's it. Yeah, man. No, excited to be here. It's awesome.
Well, and this is Bar Conversations, so I start the
That's
show
right.
off the same way every time.
Okay.
What's your go-to drink, or what are you drinking tonight?
Well, okay, right now I got a little Jameson
Ooh, okay.
and I put that in this red Solo cup. And then I put some Coke Zero. That's what I got going on right now.
I like it.
What do you got going?
So I got a little Woodinville,
Oh,
8-year from Washington.
oh my
This
gosh.
bad boy. I always try to find something I think works well with someone. And I know you're not from Washington; you're up from Canada. But this guy's aged 8 years, but
Wow.
another 2 years of a little seasoning. And I feel like you put a little seasoning in with playing in the bands before you kind of decided to give it a shot. So I thought it was fitting,
Wow, you pair it with your guest. I love it.
or at least try.
You're a genius. Yes.
Or
Yeah,
I just like booze.
that could be it. Just looking for any excuse to have a drink.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
so is the Coke, the Jameson and Coke Zero like your go-to drink, or what do you normally like to
It
have on a given night?
it always changes. It's really just whatever's in my house. So I think someone came over to my house and brought this bottle. Very nice of them. So that's what I was going with tonight. I have another drink I like, which is I don't know if you do you guys have Cottage Springs
I don't
in
know.
it's like a seltzer.
Okay.
This is called a Cottage Springs Springers and it's 7%. And they're these tiny little cans and they go down really nice.
I was gonna say, and they pack a little punch at 7%.
They
So,
do. Yeah. So
well,
yeah, I don't know. It's just really whatever's around. I'm not too fussy about my booze.
you just need somewhere to drink, and you're good to go.
That's right.
No,
Absolutely.
I love that, and we'll get into that. Somewhere to drink here in a little bit, but. Speaking of that music thing that you do, I read where your family's musical, but it took a
Mhm.
live show for you to really dive deeper into that musical side for you.
Yeah, 100%. My family, I think both my parents play piano. They never did it. I think my mom's actually quite good at piano. She doesn't play much anymore, but mainly my family had music on the radio or whatever, a CD or whatever growing up. So I've always had a love for music in that sense, just consuming music and listening to it. But yeah, I saw this one concert, and it changed everything for me. It was this Australian guy named Xavier Rudd, and he was playing he had like this whole rig. I'm gonna fall off this bench I'm sitting on by the end of this, but he had this whole like didgeridoo rig with all this like stomp boxes and stuff. And I just kind of fell in love with the way that the room felt being in a theater with everyone watching. And I don't know. Yeah, after that, it was just that's what I was going to do. So
So it was kind of
pretty,
that love of the seeing someone be able to perform and captivate you.
yeah, yeah. And just like everyone was so stoked to be in the room watching this. And I don't know. That's what I feel like these days. I just try to bring that into my own show. It's just like everyone's got a lot of stuff going on in their own lives. So if there's, a moment where people can just kind of relax and listen to music, that's the goal.
Hey, it's a good goal. Now, do you have a stomp box for you? Kind of do some of that, or
I used to. I think Xavier Rudd at that time maybe still does was like making his own or he had some like handmade something. So I like made this terrible. It was horrible with just like a mic stuck in it and it didn't really work, but it got me going.
I love it. I love it. Now, you said that's what made you dive deeper, but I hear you didn't love to get on stage right away. So a
No, I
teacher
did
had to
not.
kind of give you a little push to perform in your school's talent show, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, here we are.
Yeah, I think like I don't know what it's not maybe smart to want to pursue a career in music when you have terrible stage fright. I don't know. That's like the first thing you should probably be good at. But it was actually my buddy Gavin Barry. Big shout out if he ever sees this. He like kind of convinced me to sign up for I think it was like a talent show or it was like a Christmas assembly or something like that. And he was like, let's do a song. So we did a song. He played and sang, and I played and sang. And I tried to get out of it on the day, but our principal, Miss Reed, was like, "No, you're doing it." So thank goodness I did because that was like the first real thing that I did in our auditorium that had a lot of people in it, and it was terrifying. So I'm surprised I wanted to dive back into that feeling. But I do like adrenaline and I love a thrill. so so yeah, I don't know. I caught the bug after that and had to do more.
Well, was there ever a chance you wouldn't get into music somehow? Like you said, music was all around you with, whether it was sibling, whoever else. But I think
Hmm.
too, even your grandpa was in the radio business. So like, I mean, you
Yeah,
were immersed in it.
I know it was all around me, so it makes a lot of sense. But um, I didn't. It wasn't like until like in high school that I really. It wasn't like I was little thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be a musician," you know. But it's definitely something that I got obsessed with at like probably in grade 10. So I don't know what else I would have done. I love like doing, I love like building stuff and, flipped a couple houses in Waterloo where I grew up. And, in between, that was kind of later once I had already started playing music, but I had to keep the thing going. So saved up enough and yeah, so I probably would have done something like maybe I would have been a plumber or something. I would have loved. I'd still love to do something like that. That sounds awesome. But
The
yeah,
singing plumber.
that would be good. Well, you might be onto something. I might have to. I might have to go back and look at my life, and maybe make some changes.
I don't know about that, but
Okay.
you talk. Like you said, you grew up with a lot of different music. I'm guessing, with your mom and dad, grandpa, everyone, that there were a lot of different sounds that you picked up on. So what music did you grow up on then that you loved or kind of made an impact on you?
Yeah, definitely a lot of different sounds. I remember my brother being so into Pink Floyd. So I was listening to a lot of Pink Floyd. My parents always had either rock or they're from Timmins, Ontario, which is where Shania Twain is from.
Okay.
So there was always a lot of Shania and there was a lot of pop music going on. My sister, I think my first real concert that I went to, I was so little, but I had to go because my mom was going with my sister. And I think we went to Backstreet Boys.
There you go.
So it's just a weird batch of stuff that I was listening to, but I do think that helped, you know, create whatever my sound is now. So I'm glad that there was a lot going on in my house.
I was gonna say you've made some pretty good music, and you talk about growing
Thank you.
up in Canada and specifically Ontario, Waterloo. There, what growing up there, obviously up in Canada, what impact did that have on you, whether personally or musically?
Yeah. Well, my parents are from way up north here, so that country lifestyle has always been in me. My dad, like, we had dirt bikes growing up, and we kind of, even though they lived in Waterloo, I was born on a farm that's now all a development, but or I think it's a cineplex where our farm used to be, which is wild. Everything's expanding like crazy up here, but um, I just think we always had the country thing in us just because of them. Um, but I just think fans here are so great and they always come ready to have a good time. So I got to see a lot of that going to shows and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I love it. Have you been up here at all?
I have. So,
Yeah.
and when I say I have, I mean like literally within the past couple months.
Oh, really?
Flew into Toronto, went over to Vancouver, spent a couple days there, went over to Vancouver Island and Tofino
Nice.
and Euclid for
Oh,
5 days.
Tofino's so sick.
Yeah, it was an absolute amazing trip, and I'm like, we've got to come back. We've got to. I don't know why it took me this long in my life
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make it only a couple hours north.
Yeah, you got to see some good spots too. That's awesome. Did you go surfing?
I did not, but my wife did, and she nailed it. I watched. I watched
Yeah,
everything.
smart, smart. It's too scary these days. I don't want to get hurt. I used to not be scared of getting hurt, and now I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want anything. I used to wakeboard, and I had a wakeboarding injury, hurt my back pretty bad, and I was like, this is just, it's not worth it. I was in
No,
bed for like 2 weeks at like 20, and I was like, I felt so old, and I was just like, that's enough. What am I doing? I'm not going to be a pro wakeboarder. It's too
you
much.
could have been.
I
You
could
could
have
have been.
been.
You
Oh,
could have been.
if I hadn't hurt my back.
Well, I was gonna say, and now at our age, I assume, I don't know about you, but yeah, it hurts sometimes to just get up off the couch.
Oh, all the time. I'm constantly in pain. The other day, I'm not kidding you. I was sitting on our couch over there, and I thought that I saw like a skunk or something in our backyard, and I turned quick, and I fully tweaked my neck. And for 3 days, I was like, I couldn't move my head left, and I was like, I did this on the couch. Imagine if I try to get on the wakeboard again. I'm done. I am done.
And why? And everyone's going, why didn't they have to cancel a show? Well, he turned wrong on
Yeah,
the
he turned a bit too fast to look out a window away from his TV for 3 seconds. Yeah,
well, I was gonna say, it
it's a sad
happens,
time.
right?
It does happen. I know. It's tough though. You start to get a little older. I'm not even that old, but it's just not the same.
No, it's not. But we have fun other ways, and and for
Yeah.
you, you got to be careful. You play the guitar, you play instruments, got to keep hands,
Yeah.
fingers good. Got to be able to stand up there on stage. So
That's true.
you know,
At least
you,
stand.
maybe
Yeah.
get a stool, maybe.
I could get a stool. I forget who it was. Someone broke their leg and they just sat in like this giant throne on stage. It might have been like Dave Grohl or something, but I can't remember. But it was pretty badass.
I was gonna say, who knows? You could just do that for fun.
I know. Maybe I should. And then halfway through, be like, "Psych, I'm all good." Take my cast off.
Could be a fun show.
It could be. It'd probably be boring for the first little bit. People would be confused.
Well, but
But
it'd be something they remember.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Now, I mentioned, the guitar and instruments. How did you pick up the guitar? Where did that come into the music career?
Yeah. Well, my brother plays the guitar, so he was playing for a little bit, quite a bit before I started. But I think it was just the easiest. Piano's hard. It's kind of like this thing, where, see, I can't even do it right now. But it's tough for me. And guitar was tough to learn for me, but also seemed like the easiest path. I'm like quite a hack. I'm not the greatest guitar player, but I learned so that I could write songs like most people do, I think. But it just seemed like the easiest path to being able to do that. So I don't know. There was one in my house because my brother had one, and that's just where I went.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. And
Yeah.
now, how did you get your first guitar? Was it just a hand me down, or where did you
My
get it from?
my first real guitar was this one right here that you can't really see, but I got it as a graduation present. I had like a really bad one that sounded terrible, um, that I think I bought off someone in my neighborhood or something. I can't really remember, but yeah, this one here, my parents got me, which was really nice of them, and it used to tour with me, but then we were in a trailer that like tipped over and it got a big crack through it. So now I'm so scared it sounds amazing still, but I just don't want it to break. I just want to have it for my whole life. So, yeah, that was the first real one that I got. But other than that, I just played my brother's for a while.
I was
you
gonna say
know?
I love a good story on because everyone's story on how they got their first guitar or what it means is so fascinating. You know, sometimes it could be, you know, Owen last week, you know, got his first guitar out of a Sears catalog. You know, I've heard
Really?
pawn shops, you know,
That's
Facebook
awesome.
Marketplace nowadays.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's, you know, it's amazing where it can come, but it has lots of memories.
Yeah, yeah. I love this one in particular. And then I got another one that's identical but newer to tour with. That's the exact same model as that. So I'm just too scared. That one's gonna break eventually if I keep touring with it. Who
I was
knows?
gonna, I was gonna say you don't want that to happen. Now,
No.
you talk about you know going on tour, doing things. When you first got into the business, the music business, you were
Mhm.
playing guitar for other bands, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was playing. So I, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to do it quick. I met this guy, his name's Zubin Thacker, and he's been like my mentor for years. He's an incredible guitar player. He plays with Shawn Mendes now. And he he kind of like was doing pop music. So I was trying to like play some of that. Didn't really feel like the right fit for me. But then he started music directing this girl, Kira Isabella. And she was going on tour with Terry Clark, I remember. And he was like, I bet you could like come and play. Well, it was an acoustic tour in theaters, which is, you can't hide behind any other music. It was pretty scary. But lucky enough, he was nice enough to like spoon feed me these guitar parts. So he like would send me videos and like show me my harmonies I needed to sing. And he brought me out on the road with her, and then we did that for a while. And then I went on like a full band tour with her, and I probably played with her for like 6 or 7 years, which was incredible because I got to see she was signed to Sony up here, and so I got to see how everything worked and how shows went and the ins and outs a little bit. And then I started playing with the Reclaws, who have been unreal to me as well, and learned so much with them as well. So I got a real crash course on how at least music industry works up here, and yeah, I feel super lucky to have gotten that like backseat experience, just watching it all happen and hopefully not messing up my parts every night.
Well, and I was gonna say you ended up rooming with one of the Recklaw's band members. Is that kind of how it all
we
happened, or still do? Do you like?
No, we used to live in this house all together. I live here with my girlfriend now. They've moved out. So I lived with Callum, who produces all my stuff, and then Stu from the Rec Laws. Actually, Stu slept in the back room right back there, and we wrote actually quite a few songs in the room I'm sitting in right now. It was awesome because like COVID's was terrible, but at least I was in a house with those guys, and we had a little studio in here and could work on stuff. So yeah, that was a fun little period where no one was doing anything other than sitting in their house. It was pretty fun.
Well, well, I was gonna say, I mean, whether it was with that group or just like you said, being able to learn the industry, because as folks may or may not know, it's a crazy industry. It is not easy. It is not, you know, overnight success all the time. So, I mean, I'm guessing you were able to take a lot and be able to kind of put that toward what you're doing now.
100%. Yeah, it was just such a unique like way that I got to see everything unfolding for people, and relationships and how that all worked. And I don't know. It was I didn't even think anything of it other than when it was happening. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I get to go play guitar. But yeah, then when I started to do my own thing, which was always the plan, but I was super happy with just playing guitar for other people. But when I went to go do it, I started being like, oh yeah, this is how this works. And now I'm, you know, doing my own project. So how am I going to deal with this? And for each situation that I had seen a few times over. So yeah, it was nice to be able to think back and be like, okay, I got this. I know what to do. Or maybe I didn't, but I tried. I at least had some path forward.
Well, like I said, I think it's going pretty well for you, and you know, like you said, you know, the plan was to go out on your own, but what made you go out on your own when you did, and was it just kind of
Mm-hmm.
COVID and where things stopped and you had time to do stuff?
Yeah, it honestly was like we were supposed to be going to play a bunch of shows with the Rec Laws, me and Callum and the rest of the band. So I don't think without that, I don't like without COVID, I don't know if there would have been like a enough of a stop where I'm sure at some point it would have happened, but I was pretty excited with just going and playing shows with them. So when everything just came to a disgusting halt, it just we had nothing else to do, but I had time, so um, just started actually like demoing more than just a voice note some of the songs and yeah, pretty wild turn of events.
Well, I was gonna say it all led to you releasing the first album, "Party in the Back," which came out in 2022. And
Yep.
I think you said you worked on that for basically 5 years or more. More. Uh,
Well, yeah, we just were all in. We were in a house. We were in this house for like 2 or 3 years, but we lived like 500 meters that way in another house. So while we were touring with Rec Laws, I was always writing, trying to get better at that, and obviously still I'm trying to get better at that. But it just was. It was always going on. I didn't know that I would be working towards like an album, but it ended up just that was something we did when we had downtime a little bit, and then it was nice to have songs sitting there to kind of be like, this could be cool. Let's try this out. So yeah, I don't know. It was probably like 5 years of writing, a lot of which was terrible, so we didn't use it. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild little ride.
I was gonna say one of my favorite songs off that album was "Somewhere to Drink."
Hmm.
You which you put together with Brett Kissel, who's amazing by the way, and then the Red
Yeah.
Claws, who I know you got to know. How did that song come to be? Because that seemed like a little bit of a fun song that you all put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, well, I have a buddy, Griffin Palmer, who I don't know if you know Griffin, but Griffin is signed to Big Loud, and that was a Hardy demo that he was like, check this out, or maybe Stu had it or something, and I was like, that is so cool. So we just kind of were hoping that we would be able to record it for a while, and they gave us the okay, and then Rec Laws were down to jump on it and do it with me, and then Brett as well. So it turned into this crazy. We were trying to fit four voices on this song, which I think it turned out fun. It at least sounds like a party, I think. um, and then Ben Nechtel did the video for it. So our original idea was to build some sort of bar or do something, but then we ended up building that rolling. We bought like a flatbed trailer, and me and my dad built a bar
I was
on
gonna
it.
say,
That
did you was that you that built it? Your
Yeah,
handiwork?
yeah, I built it in my parents' driveway in Waterloo. I would drive there on weekends and weeknights, and my poor dad. I was just like, "We're gonna build a bar on this thing." He's so handy, so he was helping me out with that, and then it took a little while just because we were working on it on and off, but and we didn't know even like we didn't know if there were rules around like building something. Like I didn't know what was legal, and I knew we'd have to tow it around and stuff. So we ended up building this thing. It had like a wall that folded down. It was on like these hinges, so you could put it down, and it was turned into a little stage. The back of it opened up into a bar, so the bar kind of folded out, and I think it turned out really cool. But it ended up we were supposed to shoot the video, and it was just supposed to look like kind of like a fall day, and it ended up snowing so hard on the day, and there was like all these extras that came and all these really nice people that showed up to be in the video. It was like so cold. Everyone was soaking wet. You can see me in the video. I look like a little wet rat or something because my mullet's just absolutely drenched. But it turned out fun, I think.
Oh, I love the video. The song is great. The video makes it all come together. And I was watching it the other night, and I was like, it is pouring down snow. Very on brand
Oh,
for Canada.
yeah, it turned out a bit more Canadian than we were thinking. It was just like I can't even tell you. People were like huddling. There was a few heaters. People were like huddling by the heaters, trying to get warm in between takes. And we luckily built that huge fire. So that warmed things up, but it was chilly to say the least. Hey, can I mix up at any point here?
Whenever you want. I've already
Okay, hold
may
on.
have report. I don't know.
Here we go.
Things happen.
Oh, oh. One shot of whiskey. Okay, sorry, I digress.
Oh, you are good, my friend. And when you're having fun on like video shoots like that, I think back to when you were having maybe a little bit of that stage fright
Yep.
back in the talent show. Was there ever any like when you're doing a video? Is that like a whole different thing for you? Because you tend to have fun in some of your videos and things like that. But I mean,
Hmm.
what's it like being on a music video shoot then?
It's pretty chaotic. It's a lot of fun, but it's like the director has ideas of what we need to get done, and you're trying to like organize a bunch of people and make it look cool and feel cool. So that was a crazy experience, especially just adding the snow on top of all that. Uh, but it was so fun. There was a point during it where we are in the trailer, me, Brett, and the Reclaws, and we were doing shots like just like for one shot to make it look like we were cheersing and doing shot. But then we started having real shots. And I think Ben Knechtel, the director, was like at a certain point was like, maybe we lay off the shots. People, Nate, you're looking a little sloppy at this point. So I don't know if we listened or not, but we tried to rein
Uh,
it in a little bit.
where's the fun in that, right?
I know, not real shots in this video about drinking. No, I got to do a real shot.
Exactly, and that's kind of fitting because you've got a brand new single out, "Race to the Bottom,"
Yeah.
which has some fun play on words there with the famous race car drivers, but also kind of with the actual bottle, the bottom of it.
Yes.
What drew you to that song? Because I don't believe you co-wrote that one though, right?
I didn't know. I mean, I love writing. I love it. And when I write a song that other people seem to gravitate towards and that's good enough to go on the record or on a record or an EP or whatever, I'm excited about that. But I love hearing other people's demos and I can connect with certain ones. And when I do, I get obsessed with them. So that was Daniel Ross, Jeff Warburton, and Griffin again, Griffin Palmer. So he sent me that. Griff sent me that like it must have been 3 years ago, and I didn't know where it would fit, um, timing wise, just based on songs we had and stuff. But now seemed like the right time, and I always like to think of like the energy of what a song will bring, whether it's like a down song or like a big up song or anthem sort of thing. And I always like to think of it towards the live show and how that'll feel. So this one was like something that I thought my live show like would be great in a live show. It's got down verses and then a big chorus, and I just connected with it. And I had been through a few breakups. I got a good one now, nice lady now, but I've been with some stinkers. So this was it. Just kind of was fitting for what we needed right now and what I was connecting with.
Well, and another song, like I said at the top of the show that you recently released, I'm sensing a theme here with at least the names of the
I
songs.
know we have. There's another song that's something about driving, and we are like, well, we can't put that out unless we wanted unless we want to lean in and have like a car EP or something.
Who
It's
knows?
which maybe that's not a bad idea. I don't know. I should revisit that, but uh, yeah, I don't know. That just kind of happened randomly, but we're excited about it now.
I was gonna say it's another great song, a little different than a Race to the Bottom. And this one you co-wrote. So how
Hmm.
did Drive come to be?
Drive. I think we wrote Drive on a Zoom session with
Ooh.
Griffin and Callum. Um, and that was also like that's probably 3 or 4 years old now. So that was during the pandemic, and um, I don't even know who had the title. I might have written the title down. I have like a title bank on my phone that I just like sift through to see if there might be anything good on it. Um, So I'll just look at it a few times a day, and when I go into writes, pitch ideas and stuff. But that just came together pretty quickly, and then we sat with it. The actual like the original demo that we did sounds a lot different. Uh, I eventually I think I want to put it online and just be like, this is what it used to be. But I love where it landed. I think Callum nailed it with production stuff. And I hadn't put out music in a while, and I was excited and eager to get stuff out. So we went and did a little content day for it, and it just kind of lined up that was the right time to put it out. And we knew that Race to the Bottom was coming up after that, and I don't know. The car now, the more and more I think about it, the car EP could be good. I don't know what to say.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's also fitting you're wearing a Carhartt shirt with a, Mack truck on it.
A big truck on it. That's right. This shirt I lost for like, this isn't exciting for any listener, but I lost this shirt for like 3 months and I got it back now, you guys. So everything's good again.
Well, and you said you hadn't released a little bit of music in a while.
Yeah.
Two songs though, so is more music coming? Leading to
Yeah.
an album? What can you
Yeah.
tell me that won't get you in trouble?
I don't really know what'll get me in trouble. I definitely know there's more music coming. We've been I was definitely writing stuff during that kind of 6 months where I didn't have anything new out per se. But the album did come out. Party in the Back came out in 2022. So was it 2022? Yeah, I think
Hmm.
so. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Verifying that. But there were a couple singles off of that, and then was writing and just excited for people to hear more. We've been playing shows all summer, so excited to keep doing that, and just yeah, I don't know a date. I'm not just saying that. I just don't even know a date yet. That new stuff's going to come out, but we're pretty focused on Race to the Bottom right now, and just pumping that as much as we can.
Well, I was gonna say, when it comes to the songwriting process for you, you kind of talk about life has kind of hit you a couple different ways with different things. I mean, is it talking about those experiences? Is it just a song title on your phone? Is it an idea? How does that work for you?
Well, I think the song titles in my phone that end up turning into something, if it's one of my titles, the day we pick to write, I have to like connect to it in some way that's real. Um, and it could be something that has happened to me or something that's going on in my life. But I also like, I think like a lot of writers do, pull from stuff that I'm seeing around me and hearing around me from my friends and stuff. Everyone's going through wild stuff all the time. So just trying to pull from that and then connect with it on my own level, which with breakup stuff is easy for me to do. But yeah, I don't know. Always just looking for that next thing that feels a bit different, and yeah, we just go from a title normally.
Well, and I think you also like to have a good time too, so that might be where you draw one or two songs from.
100%. Yeah, there's some beer and drinking songs for sure. And even I know I didn't write Race to the Bottom, but that was one of the things that was cool about it to me because it is pretty sad, but also it's still like upbeat and fun, and it's not too serious. But yeah, that was something that excited me about that song for sure.
Well, and this is, like I say at the top of the show, what's your go-to drink? What you drinking tonight? Always asked. This has now become toward the end of the show one of my favorite questions to ask. Is there a favorite song of yours that you like to perform these days?
Perform these days. Um, well, besides like, and I'm not just saying this because it's the current single. Race to the Bottom has been so fun. We've only played it a few times, and it feels awesome live, I think. So that's been a really exciting one. I have been doing a Miley Cyrus cover in my set, and it's
Ooh,
an old one. I do The Climb. Miley Cyrus is The Climb. So
I
that's
love it.
been kind of fun. Last year, I always try to get like a super broken down moment where it's just like me and acoustic guitar. And last year we did a Kelly Clarkson song, Since You've Been Gone. And this year we've moved to Miley. I think I'm just really I'm gonna lean into female power ballads, you know?
Hey,
Now,
they have some soul to them.
they do, and people like to scream them at the top of their lungs. So that's what we're going for.
I love it. You know, you could always go back to, that very first concert of yours and have a Backstreet Boys song one day.
I should do a Backstreet Boys song, or I pull a didgeridoo up. And I always say this, but didgeridoo don't tempt me because I will do it. Yeah,
I feel like
that's
that
a
could be.
terrible joke. Let's cut that out.
No, I was gonna say I
Let's
feel
get
like
rid of
that could
that.
be your whole life. Don't dare me to do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's not bad.
And you talk about being able to, like you said, you've been able to perform with other bands. You're being able to do your own music now. What's the best part for you being on stage?
Being on stage, I just like connecting with people. I love looking at people in the front row and what they're singing along to. And I don't know, I just love the fans. I like my favorite thing is meeting people like before or after the show. I love performing in the moment on stage as well, but I just think it's so cool that people come out to shows and they're always so nice and they're just excited. And for the most part, there's a few there's a few gnarly fans, but uh, yeah, it's just meeting new people and seeing how people grew up, talking to people, and I don't know. That's the best part for me.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, it's cool when someone's willing to spend their hard earned money to go see you perform, and what was it like
That's
that first
exactly
time?
it.
Because you like you said, you got to play with the Rec Laws, who, for those that don't know, they're pretty popular.
Yeah,
Seeing them have people sing their songs back to you, while you were playing. But now, what's it like when someone sings one of your songs back to you?
it's insane. Every time, I don't think that'll ever get old. Like it's so cool. It just means that you connected or hit a nerve in someone that made sense to them. They understood kind of the feeling you were feeling when you were writing it, and I think that's the goal of the whole thing. So it's I don't think yeah, I'll never get sick of that. It's really cool.
Well, and you kind of teased this throughout the our conversation. Music could more music is coming, maybe
Yeah.
some more shows. So what else? What can folks truly expect the rest of this year, and then on into 2025?
The rest of this year, I think there's going to be more music this year. I don't know 100%. I'm playing some more shows. So if anyone's up in, I think there's a few more Ontario shows. Um, I'm going to the CCMAs to do like songwriter around there and hang out. So that'll be really cool. Um, and then they can just go to my Instagram. I post everything on there. So if there's something coming up, it's just I'm the Holler on Instagram. And I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I really don't, especially after a couple little Jamesons. Who knows?
I was gonna say it's a good time, and I was gonna say that name I am Holler. Were you just shocked that that was available, or is that just who you are and it made so much sense?
It made a lot of sense on the Holler, but I was actually pretty shocked that I could get I'm the Holler on Instagram. I think there might be one other Nate Holler that exists. So I don't know if we're gonna have issues later. I think we've both been around for a while though, so there's no arguing that it's legitimate. But yeah, I don't know. I always think, did I pick the wrong name? Because sometimes people are confused when I say I'm the Holler to them. But Nate Holler, they can understand. So I don't know if my handle's bad. I might take a poll on my Instagram and say, "Is this
Okay,
good?" You know,
you know,
let the people speak. See what they have to say.
just make sure if you do change it, is you can get what you want.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to change it now. Like, I don't know how many times. I don't know how Instagram works at all. But I think maybe you can only change it like once or something. I don't
Well,
know.
but I mean, you've also told a lot of people, and you don't want to, confuse
I
them.
know. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. We've decided.
See, that's what happens when we have a good conversation. We
Yeah,
work through the issue,
we
and it comes to
spitball. We talk it through. We make sure we're making good decisions.
exactly, exactly.
That's it.
Well, like I said, if you haven't, you got to give Nate's music a try. It's fantastic. Race to the Bottom, Driver, great songs off the last album. I love Somewhere to Drink, Broken. So many good ones. And
Thanks,
Nate,
man.
thanks for having a drink with me.
Thank you. Cheers. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time.
Find more from Hops and Spirits at hopspirits.com.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.